Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our last event for SciFest 2025. Very excited to have so many of you back with us again today, and especially to be joined by Craig, one of the educators at Reef Aquarium School. And Julie is going to be behind the scenes helping answer a lot of your questions as well, who's many of you probably met in our trivia just at 1 o'clock. So we're delighted to have Reef Guardian School with us today to wrap up our kind of marine bookends of SciFest. It was been really fabulous. We had National Maritime Museum at the beginning of the week and Great Barrier Reef Authority at the end of the week. So I'm happy as a scuba diver. I love learning more about marine science, and today you're going to learn about what it's like being a marine biologist. So I'm going to hand over to you, Craig.
Perfect. Thank you very much indeed, Karen. So yes, my name's Craig, everyone, and I'm one of the education team at the Reef Authority. And we coordinate the Reef Guardian School program. So I just wanted to say a special hello to any Reef Guardian schools or students that might be joining us this afternoon. As Karen mentioned, I'm not the only one in the studio. I'm joined by Julie. Good morning or good afternoon, Julie. How are you doing today?
G'day, everyone.
So Julie's sitting off camera, but on the keyboards. You're like a musician today, Julie. You'll be putting answers into any questions you would like to put to us through the Q&A. Have a look now down the bottom. The Q&A channel is what you would be wanting to put questions to us. Now, on the flip side, I might be asking you questions which you can answer very quickly just in the chat. So maybe if there are teachers in a classroom, you might like to get near the keyboard and be ready to type in any answers to our questions.
Now, Craig, I've also put a link in the chat for everyone.
Ah, perfect. So this is something that you can refer to. If you don't have it already, have a look at the survey slate that we'll be referring to during this session. So we're focusing on our Be a Marine Biologist for a Day program. And there is a survey slate. You take a plastic version of the survey sheet underwater when you were doing that particular survey. So have a look at that link. You might like to refer to it as we go through this session. Now, before I go any further, just wanted to point out where I am. We are in Townsville and we are on Wulgurukaba country. So I'd like to pay my respects to the Wulgurukaba people, their elders and ancestors too. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Bindal people, the traditional owners of lands in this area. And furthermore, acknowledge the 70 traditional owner groups that live along the very long length of our Great Barrier Reef coastline. Now, this blue bit on the map, I guess I should orientate us all. This is a map of Australia, and we're looking at the northeast coastline of Australia, where we get the Great Barrier Reef. Now, the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park is this big blue chunk that we've sectioned off here. It's enormous. It contains the world's largest coral reef system. It's so big you can see it from space. That's a satellite photo. Our Great Barrier Reef makes up 10% of all the coral reefs in the world. How fantastic is that? And if you look close, like really close, you should be able to count the nearly 3,000 reefs that make up our Great Barrier Reef system. So that's our focus each and every day at the Reef Authority. Just wanted to extol the virtues of how big our marine park is. I'm going to disappear for a moment. So here are some size comparisons. When we think about the marine park, I'll let you read them. I won't go through them point by point. I think my favourite might be down the bottom, because I went to school in New Zealand, and the whole land area of New Zealand would fit into the marine park 1.3 times. Another fun fact, being a Friday, how about we have a fun fact for a Friday? Actually, I'll put a question to you. How many soccer fields do you think we could fit into our marine park? Think of a soccer pitch. How many? I'll give you a clue. We're talking millions. You can put it into the chat if you reckon you you know how many million soccer fields we might fit into our marine park? My goodness, 200 million. A good start from what was that, Rochelle, was it? Thank you. Rachel, sorry. Thank you very much. So it's a huge area, isn't it? I'll come back or remind me, Julie.
A few people saying 50 million.
Ah, that's
and
good.
Someone else has said 3 million.
3 million.
Oh my gosh.
So quite a range. Look, it's upwards, like beyond 68 million. So if you were close to that number, very well done. It's astonishingly large. And it begs the question, how do we manage to keep an eye on something that's as big as Italy or Japan or Malaysia? It's a huge area in order to keep an eye on. There's only 200 odd staff at the Reef Authority. So how does 200 staff manage to keep an eye on the reef? Well, we have lots of partnerships with lots of other government agencies, Australian government, state government or Queensland government. We work with industry groups, but we also allow anybody and everybody to contribute to the monitoring and reporting of conditions they see through the Eye on the Reef program. So there are a number of different survey tools and techniques that the Eye on the Reef program includes, and tourism operators might do tourism weekly surveys, or our Reef Guardian school students visiting the reef might want to be a marine biologist for a day survey. So let's have a focus on this particular survey. If you have questions, as I say, Julie's on the keyboards today and she'll be happy to answer any questions that you put to her in the Q&A. Now, the survey technique, let me just touch on this and we'll revisit it a little bit later, but the survey technique itself is a simple one. You've got your survey slate and you're in the water. Let's say I'm snorkeling along. I'm going to snorkel. I don't know if you can see on here. It's for 10 minutes. I'm going to be snorkeling along. And as I'm snorkeling along my lovely reef site, I'm looking for these particular animals, and these alone are the ones I'm going to record on my tally sheet, on my slate. I might see a humpback whale cruise by. I think that's wishful thinking, but you never know. I don't record it on my survey sheet. I'm looking for these particular animals, and these ones alone are the ones I'm going to be recording. So why? Why is it we're looking at these particular animals? What's special about them? Well, lots of different reasons. So again, if I disappear from view, you can see they might be super important commercially. So fishers might really highly regard certain species. I'm thinking likes of the coral trout. Some might be endangered or vulnerable to population declines. They might contribute to improving the reef's health in some way. And they might be really indicative of the health of the reef. So there are lots of reasons why we're looking for these particular animals. And that's where we're going to go through each in turn quickly, because we're limited in time today. We're going to go through each in turn, and this is where you on the keyboard can be putting in answers fast and furiously through the chat. I want your answers in the chat. Anybody know what type of fish this is? I'll get out of your way. See if anyone knows what type of fish this is. I see quite a few of them, and they're quite important. Oh, well done. I'll see a few butterfly fish answers coming in. Very well indeed done to those of you that said butterfly fish, and they're an indicator of coral reef health. In fact, they are closely associated with that coral structure and cover. So the more butterfly fish we see, the more it means there's a healthy coral habitat there. So that's why we're looking for them. There are many more species than are pictured just on the screen here. Many more species. But they all have that similar, quite a pointed little mouth, quite a very flat body, good for maneuvering through the corals, and they're closely associated with the reef. You often see them swimming, maybe in pairs, close to the reef surface. Now, I don't know if I need to ask this one at all. I'm sure everyone knows what this fish is called. It is one of about 80 types of, I was waiting for it, seeing if anyone was going to beat me to the punch. Oh, it's not, well, people are getting very particular here. Well, it is a shark. Thank you, Bethany. It is a shark. That was a simple answer, but some people are really extending themselves and suggesting it's a particular species. I think this is a grey reef shark. Would you concur, Julie? Is that a grey reef shark? Looks a grey reef shark to me. Look at all those suckerfish hanging on for a free ride. Well done, Felicity. Now, why do we count sharks? Well, sharks, like all predators are super important. Their job is to keep their prey in the right numbers. So they help maintain ecological balance of that reef community and maintain the health of the populations on the reef too. Really important. That goes for all predators, including this character. Now, this one is that popular species with the fishes. Can you remember what I suggested it might be? What was really popular with the fishes of a real commercial value for the fishes? Very well done. The answers are coming in so quick. Thanks, Charlie. Coral trout, you're right. But those of you that are saying it's a groper or a grouper aren't that far from the mark because the coral trout are in the same family as your cods and groupers. There you go. So they're an important predator. They feed on different things to many of the sharks we might see out on the reef, but equally so they're maintaining particular numbers of other populations. Very important job, very territorial. They like their patch of reef, so if we're returning to a particular reef, we might see them regularly, and it's good to be able to keep an eye on those animals, see how they're doing on the reef. Okay, I'm getting out of the way. Does look a little bit slug-like this. I'll give you a clue, it's not a slug. What does, oh, too quick, Rebecca, thank you very much. It is a sea cucumber. Yeah. Well, we call them the vacuum cleaners of the reef. They play a really important role turning over the sand, recycling dead organic matter. That's just dead animal and plant material. So instead of it spoiling on the surface of the sand, these sea cucumbers, and look, I'll be honest with you, there's over 100 different types on the reef. And one of those categories, or it's one of those categories that we often score a lot of sea cucumbers because there are so many types. But they clean the sand and they keep that seabed and reef surface healthy. Now, this is not one type of fish. This is a group that we have on our slate. You might need to just look at your slate if you have it there for a clue. And does anyone know what category this picture could be referring to? You think of animals that like to eat seaweed. Oh, that's a good clue, actually. I didn't prepare that clue, but I'm thinking, there you go. These are grazing herbivores. Grazing herbivores are a mix of many, many, many different species. And the name grazing refers to their interest in eating seaweed. And that seaweed we think of as a vegetation, like herbivores on land eating grass. So these are grazing herbivores. And we're talking about a mix of families of reef fish. You may have heard of parrotfish. Well, there are dozens of types of parrotfish. There are dozens of types of surgeonfish. And there are many species of rabbitfish, and they all do this very important job as a lawnmower, eating algae, keeping the reef healthy by stopping the algae becoming too abundant. Parrotfish, easily identified by their parrot-like beak and their habit of swimming with their pectoral fins. I'm going to show you a video, so remember that. Parrotfish swimming with their side fins, their pectoral fins. The surgeonfish are named after this really sharp blade-like structure on their tail. In Germany, they're referred to as doctorfish, maybe after a doctor's scalpel. Well, a surgeon's scalpel as well is why these fish get their name. And that's used for defense against any competitors or things that want to make a meal of them. Rabbitfish, well, I think you have to use your imagination. Maybe you could draw a big pair of rabbit ears off it, and it might have the face similar to a rabbitfish. That's the best I can offer. But collectively, the parrotfish, surgeonfish, rabbitfish do a stellar job. And I'll tell you, of all the categories that I score when I go snorkeling or diving, the grazing herbivores, top of the list always. Good to see too, because they're keeping the algae under control. Again, this is just a small selection, a very small selection. You could probably add another 10 slides to cover maybe half the species that are out there. So they're out there in abundance in numbers, and we want to see them keeping the algae under control. Now, this is a spiky customer. We don't touch anything ever on the reef, but we're certainly not going to touch one of these. Have a look at your sheet if you have it in front of you. Crown of thorns starfish. Thank you, Bethany. Quick off the mark there. And we have over 135 different species of sea stars on the Great Barrier Reef. And this one loves to eat coral, and that's fine. It's native, it's natural on the Great Barrier Reef. However, for some reason, their numbers occasionally get super abundant on a reef. So instead of getting maybe a few on a reef nibbling away at the coral, you get thousands, and they can devastate coral. So the marine park managers want to know how many crown of thorns are out there on the reef. We're going to keep our eyes peeled for them. They love to eat coral, and this picture shows you, this is just one specimen, but in just one day, it's eaten all this coral that you see is white, just sat on this branching coral, pushed its fleshy gut out through its mouth, and digested all the living tissue off that coral, leaving the white skeleton. Here's a bit of limestone, leaving the white skeleton of the once living coral exposed. How are you going for questions, Julie? I can hear the keys tapping away furiously there.
Questions. I can see answers coming in the chat and also in the Q&A, and there's some really great answers coming through.
Excellent. Good work, guys. We'll get on to some video very soon, so I'll keep moving. Anybody know what this is? Napoleon fish. Yeah, well done. Thank you, Charlie. Well done. Napoleon fish, Maori wrasse, after the New Zealand Maori, and the facial tattooing. Can you see this intricate facial pattern? Or the humphead wrasse. That's the name I often use, humphead, because of the big bulbous forehead that the males get. Really, really heavily exploited in many parts of its tropical distribution around the world. So over-harvested, vulnerable to population declines. They're protected on the Great Barrier Reef. No fishing for them anywhere. They've got a really interesting life history. They start off as girls and may turn into a boy if they're a dominant individual in their reef setting. Really popular with tourists as well. If you visited the reef, you might have had an encounter with one of these big humphead wrasse. Really, really beautiful. I nearly said it. Oh, do you think people heard? Yeah, I gave it away, didn't I? It's a giant clam. Now, these are filter-feeding shellfish. They're vulnerable to extinction. The reason being they've been over-harvested through the Pacific for centuries, and they can't move around. So as well as being over-harvested, if they're living in a part of the reef that maybe gets too much fresh water coming off the land and changes the saltiness of the sea, they can't move away from that area. So they sit on the seabed, they filter the water, they slurp the water through their body, and to supplement their food, they're filtering the particles out of the water to get nourishment. And then they also have algae in their skin, a bit like corals do. So I think of them like solar-powered shellfish, which they are. They're getting a lot of their energy from the algae living in their skin. Now, like corals, these clams can overheat if the water gets too warm and bleach like corals do. So we want to know how our vulnerable clams are doing on the reef. And Julie and I saw massive clam this last season we were out there.
A few people have asked how big they get. They're about to type the answer, but maybe you can help answer that one.
I don't know. Look, I've got a table in front of me that's about this big, and I don't think it's an exaggeration. I'll get onto screen. I think I've seen them bigger than this. And we think they can live to over 70 years. So they're really slow growing, long-lived animals. And as I say, they can't move around and change their habitat. They are susceptible to whatever conditions present in that area. All right, I'm getting out of the way so you can see. Who do you reckon? Who do you reckon? Oh, grouper. Thank you, Rebecca. Quick off the mark there. This is the Queensland grouper. So we're looking for cods and groupers over 50 centimetres. Okay, anything over 50 centimetres, we think 50 centimetres, what's that about? So big? So anything over this size, we want to tally as we're going along. Look, many of our cod have been protected for over 20 years now. Queensland grouper, the barramundi cod, the potato cod, they're all fully protected. It's a great way to hopefully have their populations recover in numbers over time. All right, again, like the shark, I shouldn't really even put this question out there. Everyone should know this straight away, but I'll wait for a moment, see who comes up with the answer first. Oh, thank you, Charlie. Very quick. We get 6 different types of anemone fish, and they're named because they have a host we call an anemone. Anemone fish must live with an anemone. More about that. But they're very popular with tourists. If you think about visiting the Great Barrier Reef, you might be hoping to see an anemone fish. Now, they're living with a host, the anemone, that is like a coral. It is susceptible to bleaching if the water gets too warm. What do you think happens if a sea anemone, oh, I've got it on the screen. If a sea anemone bleaches and dies, Nemo loses its home. So we need to keep an eye on how our anemone fish are doing, and looking out for anemone fish and seeing what the condition of the anemone is like on the reef also gives us an idea about the conditions at that particular reef. And then, yeah, I'm not even pausing for answers, but feel free to put it in the chat anyway. This is our sea turtle or marine turtle, another name for the same group of reptiles. And we get, of the 7 that are found around the world, how many do you think we get on the Great Barrier Reef and in Australian waters? Oh, someone's very quick. Well done, Rachel.
Well, it was a quiz question the other day, Craig.
It was. I was sort of alluding to that one there. We get 6. How crazy is that? 6 out of the world 7. That's not too bad. And look, I haven't seen many. I've seen a couple of flatbacks. I've seen loads of greens, a few loggerheads, one olive ridley, a number of hawksbills, and never seen a leatherback in the flesh, so to speak. So I'm still waiting for that opportunity. The flatback is the only nests on Australian beaches. So I think of it a bit like it's the Australian sea turtle. Well, very good. That's good. Nice pictures. All very good. But let's go and have a look underwater. You ready to go for a dive? Again, using the chat. See who's first off the mark. What would you classify this as if you saw it swimming around with its big beak? Big beak, grazing. I'm giving some big hints here. Grazing. Parrotfish. Well done, Charlie. I was looking for grazing herbivore, but parrotfish, you are absolutely right. Now, who's this? We're just talking about them. I can see their host down here. Their home. Can you see it? Nemo. Yeah, indeed. How about this? Goodness me. It's not on the sand, but it's not doing a lot, is it? That's what they do. Sea cucumbers. Awesome. So there's picking up the leftovers. And here we have, I might pause this here just to think about it. just for a moment, what do you think this pair of them swimming along? Can you remember what that fish was if you added a pair? Oh, well done, Bethany. I was about to give you a clue. If you added ears to it, it's the rabbit fish, one of our grazing herbivores. Good work, team. Excellent. Lovely reef that's filmed in. Now, sitting on the seabed, filtering the water, using algae in its skin to get energy. Oh, clam. Rachel, Bethany, very quick. Excellent. Thanks, JR. Now, very thin-bodied. Okay, take a note. Don't know if you recall, very flat body, about the size of your hand. A lot of yellow going on there. Oh, Charlie, very good. I'll see if anyone else can suggest. I'm looking at another species there. In fact, we've got 1, 2, 3 different species. What else can I say? Oh, there's a grazing herbivore stealing the show, but we're focused on the the butterfly fish here. I think they're being cleaned. That's why they're hanging around that spot. That's a cleaner fish, giving them a clean. But those butterfly fish, remember, they're a good indicator of healthy coral habitat. Nice work. Now, I haven't seen this video much, so I'm not sure what's coming up next. Oh, no, that's another type of surgeonfish up there. Oh, here we go. Popular with fishers. Well, what do you reckon? It is a cod, but well done, Charlie. It's coral trout. How about this one? Have a look at your sheet if you've got it there. Might pause it. A very pretty fish, this. Think of our friends, our neighbours in New Zealand. It is. It's a Napoleon wrasse or a humphead wrasse or a Maori wrasse, as some people are saying. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's got a little friend hanging on to its belly. That's a little suckerfish along for the ride. Oh my goodness. Just take a moment to see how many you can find here, because you might think you can see 2, but can anyone see any others? How many can you see of the turtles? 3, yeah, there's one down here, isn't there? Having a sleep, and that, by the way, is a coral trout hanging on the top. Well done, everyone had their eyes in. I missed that third one the first time. Now, have a look at your sheet. We're looking for black tip or white tip reef sharks in particular, but all sharks. All sharks. It is a shark. Thank you, Parvin. It's a, look at the dorsal fin. White tip. Well done. Beautiful. Oh, now this might look a bit more like what's on your picture, on your sheet there. Can you remember? We've already seen one of these. Remember New Zealand? Not a cod, not a grouper. Yeah, well done, Charlie. It's one of those Napoleon wrasse or humphead wrasse. Oh, now we know that this is a turtle, but any idea of what type? Don't look at its color. Maybe the shape of its. Oh, I'm going to go back a moment there if I can. Maybe the shape of its beak. What do you reckon that might be? Not the color, shape of the beak. Anybody? Have a look at your sheet if you've got your sheet there. Think that. Oh, well done, Darcy. Hawksbill. Now we've seen a couple of these already to give it away. And barnacle turtle, thank you, Felicity. That's referring back to the hawksbill. It did have a few barnacles on it, that one. But the previous fish that just swam by, this one, did anyone want to guess what this one was? Oh, yeah, Parvin, you've already picked up what the next one is. Thanks, Charlie. It is a Maori wrasse. Well done. And Parvin's picked up this is a black tip reef shark. See the black tip on its dorsal fin? I think you guys are getting your eye in. That's pretty cool. Well done. Okay, and this one, oh, I'm just going off screen here. What do you reckon this fish might fit in terms of the list of animals we're looking for? Well done. Good work, JR. It is a cod. So it's in the cods and groupers. Oh, another one. Let's see, Charlie, did you guess this one last time? I'll just jump back. It's another humphead wrasse, a smaller one. You might put that down on your sheet. You see how we're looking for boys and girls? So the girls don't have that big prominent bump on their head. So I might call that one a girl Maori wrasse or humphead wrasse. And then, well done, Charlie. You're too quick for me. Spiky says, Barvin, it certainly is. It's a crown of thorns starfish. And what's it doing? It's eating the coral. But that's okay. I can only see one there. But if I was to see a couple or three on a 10-minute snorkel, I would be like concerned. Concerned that I get my data uploaded to the Eye on the Reef database and let the marine park managers know. Just because they can be so devastating to our important corals. Oh, who's this? Now don't look at the colour. Look at the head. Anybody know what has a big block head? It's a loggerhead. Well done, Rachel. And it's a boy because it's a big turtle with a big tail. And that's how I can tell it's a boy. If it was a turtle with a little tail of that size, I would think it was a girl. So I think that's the last of our video, except here we go. Lucky last. What type of shark is this one? I'm going to pause it right there. Oh, well done, Charlie. It is a leopard shark, and they love to eat, I'm just going to point out to you, they love to eat hard-bodied animals. So their mouth is a very powerful, it's almost like a vice for crushing up shellfish or crabs, things of that description. So they live on the seabed. So that's our video that I wanted to show you to this point. How are we doing for time? We've still got a bit of time. So I'm going back to my slides. Now, before we can deputise you all to go out onto the Great Barrier Reef and start doing our Eye on the Reef surveys, we need to do a quick knowledge review. So it's an exam and it's very quick. Are you ready? You can put your answers in. It's going to be A, B, C or D. Get your keys lined up. Okay, we're going through it. I'm getting out of the way. Here we go. What category would you put this in? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, well done. A. Good work. How about this one? You reckon? Some answers coming in there. Butterfly fish is winning. Well done. How about question 3 of 10? 3 of 10. Oh, might draw ears on this one. It would be, okay, a rabbit fish would be in the grazing herbivores. Thank you. Lots of bees coming through. Excellent. Now, big mouth, fully protected on the reef. Well done. Didn't even need to give any more hints. It is a big Queensland grouper. Good work. Now, look at the beak. Imagine it grazing. Oh, a grazing. It's going to be a D, isn't it? Anyway, I knew you guys would have known that one anyway. D, it's a parrotfish and it's a grazing herbivore. Now, sort of slug-like, sitting on the seabed. Yeah, that's an easy one, isn't it? You guys know your stuff. I think you're all going to pass by the looks of things. Now, question 7. 70% through. Here we go. Which category would we put this in? Look at the size of it. It's over 50 centimetres long. Well done. Oh, Charlie, I like your answer, flowery cod. Close. That might be a potato cod, but you're right. It's in the cods and the groupers. Well done, everyone. And so it was A. And then 8. What category would we put this in? I'm going to give you a clue. Look at the tail. It's a surgeon fish with a sharp scale on its tail. We might find it nibbling on the reef surface. What's it nibbling on? It's grazing on the seaweed. So that's going to be B. Well done. Look, everyone's got 100% by the looks of it. So question 9. This is the second to last question. Oh, I don't even need to pause. Everyone knows that this is a sea cucumber. No, I'm kidding. It's our friend Nemo, the anemone fish. And then we have, and again, there's only one answer this could possibly be. That's right, it's the hawksbill turtle. Very sharp beak. Not the best photo. I could have done better with the photo, couldn't I? But they also have quite dark scales around their face and that sort of serrated edge to their shell to give away that species. Very well done. Good work, everyone. So, what we might do in the time that's left, and I can hear Julie typing away madly.
Heaps of questions that I'm answering.
Excellent. Well, feel free to put me on the spot. I'm always happy to be try to answer things on the fly. But how do we do the time swim? I didn't mention that when you're in the water, what you're trying to do is swim along. So I've got my snorkel in, and I'm swimming along, and I'm just looking at the reef, and oh, there's a sea cucumber. Just going to tally one there. So you know the tally system? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, close the gate, as they say. That's how we quickly note down those different categories we're interested in recording. Now, I will point out, and I mentioned this before, the grazing herbivores tend to be quite numerous on the reef. So if I see a school of maybe 20 or 30, I just write very, very roughly on my slate, 30, and I add everything up at the end. Doesn't need to be neat when you're in the water. You just record everything that you see down. In whatever way, you'll be able to work out what you were tallying as you went. So, what I thought we might do, we'll go on a guided swim. Now, this is a reef off the coast of Townsville. It takes about 2-3 hours to get there. We're going to get there really quickly by me switching over to here. Oh, no, that's not it. We want to go to this reef. Okay, I'm getting out the way. I've slowed the video down a little bit. And what I thought I might do, I might pause this occasionally if I think there is the need to. I've slowed the video down a little bit, but we're off, snorkel surveyors. And look, straight away, see over there, we've got a grazing herbivore. That's a parrotfish. There's another one. I've got 2 parrotfish. Julie, please be scoring. I need you to tally. Okay. Okay. Oh, what's this? I wonder what they are. Can anyone tell me what they are? We've already scored you, Mr. Parrotfish, as a grazing herbivore. Look at him. Look at him grazing on the algae there. Anybody know what they are? Extra credit if you know what these little, pause it for a moment just so you can see, and then I'll keep going. That looks suspiciously like a sand-dwelling sea cucumber. Oh, well done, Charlie. Squid. Look at that sea cucumber down there. Follow my yellow pointer and I'll try and point it. Yeah, they're little reef squid. Well done, Charlie. On the money. Now, I'm looking around. What else can I find? Quite nice coral, isn't it? Quite a bit of coral cover. Oh, look at that. See him? That's a little butterfly fish. So remember, they're a good indicator of coral reef habitat. Look, using its pectoral fins to swim around. The ones with a beak, the parrotfish, we're going to score that as a grazing herbivore. You could just write down, if you don't have that sheet in front of you, could just write down these different things we're coming across. Oh, there, that looks suspiciously like a sea cucumber, another butterfly fish. Too fast for me, but I picked up there were butterfly fish. There's another grazing herbivore. So already I've got a few grazing herbivores. Julie's tallying away furiously, and we'll have a look at Julie's sheet at the end. And what else can I see? Let's have a look. We've got, I'm thinking, yeah, down there, you see? Another black sea cucumber on the sand. That's actually a wrasse, a little wrasse. I'm not going to tally him as a grazing herbivore. Doesn't fit. So there was another sea cucumber there. Look at that coral. quite a bit of sand. Oh, there's a butterfly fish. Oh, another parrotfish, the grazing herbivore. There's another sea cucumber. Remember, there's over 100 types of sea cucumbers, so it's not surprising to see quite a few different species. Look at some of this coral. Look at that lovely branching coral. Nice little damselfish here, but they're not on our tally sheet. We're not going to look at those. Oh, herbivore down there. Might have seen it. Peck. Oh, there's a butterfly fish. One butterfly fish. Another one over here. That's its partner. Hanging around together. Look at this. How many? Quick tally. What would you say? I reckon there's about 15 grazing herbivores. Did you see them all? Just clustered around there. Another sea cucumber on the sand. So you get the idea. You need, oh, there's a butterfly fish. There's another grazing herbivore. 1, 2 sea cucumbers. That's the way. Oh, look at this. There's another group. I'm going to pause them.
Oh, I've got to do a lot of marking now.
Yeah, look, there's butterfly fish here, and then there's a bunch of grazing herbivores. Look at them. They're baby parrotfish. They're delightful. Very good. Look at these plate corals. They must have been there a fair few years, those plate corals. Big sea cucumber hidden in there. See that? Big sea cucumber. What else can I find? Actually, we might, because of time, draw it to a close soon. But, oh, look at these two. Actually, this is interesting. 2 different species of butterfly fish hanging around together. There's 2 more sea cucumbers. I'm going to have to get you to submit your sheet now, Julie, please. If you could submit your sheet to me, we'll have a look at it on the screen. And I'll draw our swim to a close there. We'll go back. Oh, I didn't want to go there just yet. We'll see if we've got time for that. We'll go back to the studio. And how did you get on, everyone? I've got Julie's results have just come in, so I'm going to hop off screen again, and we'll just have a look at what Julie tallied. And we might use this list of questions. What did Julie see the most of? Well, looks to me like actually Julie saw, because there were a few groups. Julie, you put down a group of 10. Yeah? And
yeah, there's a few big schools that I had to go very fast.
yeah, so yeah, Julie found 21 grazing herbivores. That's good, remember, because they're keeping the seaweed under control, and a bunch of sea cucumbers, and they're keeping the sand clean. So what didn't we see? Well, we didn't see any anemone fish, and we didn't see any cods and groupers or crown of thorns. We didn't see quite a bit. And look, that's the reality. We did a little swim there for a couple of minutes. But even when you do a 10-minute swim, you might not find even half of the categories that you're looking for. If you did find over half, you chalk that up as a really magic snorkel, because it's not often that you get too many of these, particularly on the right-hand side of your slates.
Now, Craig, if you're doing this underwater, how do you write underwater on a slate?
Yeah, well, I've got a magic pencil. That's actually just a crayon. So you can just use your crayon to tally on your slate. And then when you're finished, and you can total up your numbers, when you've entered your data to the Eye on the Reef database, you can wipe your slate clean with just a cloth. It's really easy to do. Now, I'm conscious of the time. I did have another swim, but I'll just see Julie. We can see if anyone wants to hang around, we can do another time swim, just an even shorter one to show you a different type of reef. Otherwise, if people are, because I'm conscious there might be classes joining us, I just wanted to say this survey technique is available for anybody to get access to do when they visit the Great Barrier Reef. Many of our tourism operators will have these resources, these slates, for you to use when you go out onto the reef. We've got lots of resources freely available online that you can access for classroom lessons if you're interested. And the point I wanted to finish, if anyone has to run away just now, is no matter where we are, even if you're not anywhere near the Great Barrier Reef, we can all do something to look after the reef. And I just want to share, for those of you that are running away, you probably know a lot of this already, but there are simple things each and every one of us can think about doing and actually do each and every day. You know, saving energy. And that helps out the environment, particularly where we have climate change issues affecting the Great Barrier Reef. So if you're saving energy, means the reef's going to be happier in the longer term. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Be careful how we dispose of our rubbish. Share your knowledge with other people and maybe encourage them to adopt environmentally friendly practices. And if you're not a Reef Guardian school or a Reef Guardian homeschool already, you're welcome to join up. And that's free to join. There's no obligations. And you can contact us through the Reef Guardian's email if you want more information there. So I'm just going to draw it to a close here, but we can hang around. If anybody would like to hang around, put it in the chat and we can run through the other time swim if you wanted a bit more of a
Someone
practice.
who said that they were staying on in the chat.
Great, that's awesome, because I wanted to do another dive today as well. So what we will do, I'm looking, there's still quite a few people in the webinar, so I'm going to backtrack a few slides just so that we can go on our second time swim. Right, I'll get my pencil and my slate all ready. Julie, could you also do this one?
Okay, you're going to keep me busy.
I am. Keep you very busy. And we're going here. Now, this was recorded on scuba, so it's a little bit bluer in appearance. This is a deeper dive. Are you ready? This is at Lady Elliot Island. So you can tell your friends and family today you've been to John Brewer Reef and Lady Elliot Island in the one day. And here we go. Look at the coral cover straight away. Did you see that? Butterfly fish. One up for the butterfly fish.
Write that down.
There's a grazing herbivore. Another butterfly fish. Two butterfly fish, one grazing herbivore already. Look at that coral cover. Okay, so this is about 15 meters beneath the surface. And I've slowed the video down a little bit because it was a little bit of a surge pushing the fish and the diver around. So I just wanted to slow it down. Oh, look at that. That's what we call a feather star. That's a feather star. That's a relative of your sea stars. I'm thinking that's a grazing herbivore. We'll see if we get a bit closer. No sand, is there? It's just all coral cover. Oh, butterfly fish over to the right, too.
So if there's no sand, we may or may not see some of the animals from last time.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, look at this character. Big beak, using its pectoral fins. What would you call that one? See it? Oh, look, I'm going to pause it. I know I shouldn't be. That one there is a little dot and dash butterfly fish. I love these ones. That's a grazing herbivore, but can you see what's behind the big parrotfish? Have a look, Rachel. Are you ready? I'm going to play and pause it again. Look who's here. 1, 2, 3. We didn't see them on the first swim, did we? So these are our little anemone fish. And look, I'm going to pause it again in a moment just to show you. See the orange patch here? This is the mother who's laid a batch of eggs. That's a freshly laid batch of eggs those anemone fish have laid. And they'll hatch out within a week or so. That was pretty cool to see. Look at that coral. I would say that's sort of 90% coral cover, if not higher. Fantastic. Looks like maybe a cod in the distance, but I can't tell. It's not over 50 centimetres by my reckoning. I'm not going to record that one. So Julie, cross that one off your sheet. We're looking, oh, look at the fan corals. Aren't they pretty? Oh, it gets quite deep down there. What else can we see? Anyway, again, I'm conscious of time and people will have, I think that was it, is it? Was that it for today's snorkel, do you think, Julie? Oh, who's this? My goodness. This looks to me like that loggerhead we saw before. Yeah, That's it. That was that big male loggerhead turtle just cruising by. I think it was checking out the diver was behaving themselves on his reef. So that's what the big loggerhead would have been doing. So I think we'll pause it there. Just gives you another idea. We'll finish with a look at, yeah, there's the big turtle hanging out in the water. Lovely sight, that one. Now, I'm coming back onto screen and I just wanted to see, Julie, did you have any final questions?
No, I'm answering. I'm answering how many types of. A lot of the questions I'm getting are about how many different types of animals, or do we have certain types of animals? So,
Yeah.
but someone did ask, what was the average number of sea cucumbers you see each day? And I thought that's a really good question because in our survey, if we just quickly share the survey results.
Yes, thank you for sending them through. You see,
I didn't see any.
No, you didn't see any, Julie. And that's, yeah, indicative of the habitat we were in. And what this survey is doing, you're painting a picture for the reef managers by giving them numbers, and they'll be able to then correlate or work out, oh, well, in that particular reef, there's not much sand, so it's not likely they'll find any sea cucumbers. So, yeah, that was a good non-result, if you like, Julie. It's still very informative.
Excellent. Well, that was amazing to be able to go on both of those journeys as well. And I have to say, when I've been diving on the reef, there's lots of those things that we will see as well. And just when, you look over your shoulder and something big moves past, like one of the turtles or something like that, it is really quite an amazing experience. And next time I go up, I'm going to have to do those tally charts as well. I'm too busy looking at things, so I've got to make sure I record them to
Yeah, well,
the health.
that's true, Karen. And look, if anybody wanted more information, again, the Reef Guardian School team will be happy to assist you. You can email us. And I think, Karen, you normally send out a little email afterwards. We might include our email in that too.
Yes, absolutely. I will put all those in. So any of the resources you want to share with me, I will send it to everyone with the recording later on this afternoon. So a big thank you for such a great program to wrap up our Science Week, our Science Fest program, where you actually got to become a marine biologist and see how that science and that research is actually works and how important that is to feed back that data back into the system so we know more about the health and more how we can protect these environments. So thank you so much to both of you for your wonderful help throughout the entire program.
Yeah, well, thank you to all the participants as well, because you were great. All your answers to my questions and your questions to Julie, you really participated. And so we thank you for that. So have a lovely remainder to National Science Week, everyone, and we hope to see you again sometime. Thanks,
Thank
Karen.
you. Thank you so much, and everyone for participating across the entire program. Thank you. This SciFest activity is brought to you by Inspiring Australia New South Wales. It's a program from the Australian Government as part of National Science Week, and proudly brought to you by Virtual Excursions Australia.